Was the ICE agent justified in shooting and killing that woman in Minneapolis? My short answer is no, I don't think he was justified, and I hope to explain that position in this video. But I also am not here to demonize our officers. I think they have a very tough job to do. But I also believe that when an officer does make a very poor judgment that results in the death of a citizen, that it's incumbent upon us to call them out and hold them accountable. Now, the reason why I believe that the agent is at fault here is because of the footage that has been circulating showing that the woman clearly was trying to escape them and had no intention of trying to hit the officer. Now, there are two main camera angles provided. One is from the cell phone footage of the officer who ends up shooting her, and the second is from an individual who is recording from behind the vehicle. Now, if you look at the footage from the officer's camera, you can clearly see that when she's trying to accelerate, she's steering the steering wheel away from the officer. Now, if you look at the footage from behind the vehicle, you can then see the reason why she's trying to leave is because a second officer is trying to open her door. I'm not saying here that she's justified in trying to escape. I'm merely providing the rationale behind why she was accelerating. And that's because she was just trying to get away from the officer who was trying to open her door, and she clearly has no intention of hitting the officer who's towards the front of her vehicle. Now, apparently this same officer was involved in another incident about 6 months ago where he was dragged by another vehicle for about 100 feet. So clearly this officer has trauma related to vehicle-involved incidents. But you know, from what I'm hearing, in regards to the latest incident, he was clearly not following police protocol because apparently protocol states that an officer should not be approaching a vehicle from the front. But as you can clearly see through his own recording, he was walking in front and crossing the front of the vehicle when the woman decided to escape. So either this officer has very bad luck or he has very poor judgment. And I'm inclined to believe that he has both, bad luck and bad judgment. Now, there are many who will come to the defense of the agent and say that he was justified in using lethal force because he genuinely believed that his life was in danger. But what are we saying here? Are we saying that an agent gets to decide, to take somebody else's life just because he believes that his life is in danger? I think that if we're going to give an officer and trust an officer to make that call, we should also hold an officer accountable to use restraint and good judgment before deciding to take the life of a fellow citizen. So that's just my 2 cents on the issue. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you agree or you really disagree with me, I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you, and God bless.